But weary travelers through these parts take heed. Knowing who the locals root for is Rivalry 101.
So there was John Kerry in Ohio before the presidential election, and he praises the Ohio State Buckeye football team.
There is nothing better than Buckeye football, period. That's the way it works.
But then he goes to a suburb of Detroit.
We're roughly 60–70% Democratic. Our high schools are named after John F. Kennedy and Harry Truman. He could have said anything. And then he mentioned himself, I just go for Buckeye football.
I just go for Buckeye football. That's where I'm coming out. But that was while I was in Ohio. Now I know I'm in the state of Michigan, and you got a great big M and a powerhouse of a team.
This guy is a flip-flopper.
We believe the football in Ohio is a lot better, so the quality of the players are better. We feel no need to go across the border to get any of their, what they call talented players.
It is no secret Michigan has long stocked its cupboard with Ohio natives. Living next door to one of the nation's most fertile grounds for high school talent, who can blame them? That it causes resentment in the Buckeye State only adds to the rivalry. But while some Ohioans are willing to cross the border in search of gridiron glory, for others, it's not even an option.
My dad said, okay, where are you going to go? I said, Dad, I want to go to Michigan. And he said, you traitor, I'll tell you where you're going. You're going right down to 71 South, and you're going to play for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And there was number 36, Mr. Spielman.
Better not go there. Don't ever come home if you do. So there, that's good parenting, isn't it? But where would Michigan football be without players from Ohio? It wouldn't be where it is today, I promise you that.
Many of our best players come from the state of Ohio, and trust me, that really pisses them off. Jim Manich, number 88, El Diablo, the great All-American tight end.
Obviously, Michigan was the better place. It was a very easy decision to make. And if that's smug Michigan arrogance, deal with it, Buckeyes.
John Colasar's from Ohio. He kills us.
Charles Woodson, also from Ohio, ended up being a legend at Michigan.
And there he goes! Charles Woodson down the sideline! He's going to go all the way! Touchdown, Michigan!
So I don't know what they did to Desmond Howard to get him. They must have had something on his family, or somebody was kidnapped or something.
I stepped back and caught the ball on the 7-yard line. I made the first guy miss. Then I moved to my left, so now I'm running down Ohio State sideline. I'm looking at the punter. I'm like, that's just totally unfair, because no way in hell he's going to catch me. One man! I'm thinking, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And I'm really wrestling with myself about this. I crossed the goal line. I was like, hey, fuck it. And I did it.
You don't even have to say Desmond Howard. You can just say Heisman Post. And it's just, oh, God, it's brutal. It's brutal.
The dream in Ohio is to stop all these defectors if they could only build a fence around the state. Stop those traitors from going up north, then they could establish long-term dominance over Michigan, which might be true, but they've never been able to do it, to their enormous frustration.
They don't forget those who kick their ass. I just put it to you like that. So when I'm down there, I take it as a compliment. I tell them, thank you very much. Daz, man, you suck. Thank you very much. Daz, man, fuck you. Thank you very much.
Led by three-time All-Big Ten quarterback Rick Leach, the Wolverines put a blue and maize stamp on the 10-year war with victories in 1976, 77, and 78. A beleaguered Woody Hayes saw his Buckeyes outscored 50-9 in the 3 games. The 10-year tally slide in Michigan's favor, 5-4 with 1 tie.
Bo Schembechler has taken the measure of Woody Hayes 3 years in a row.
5 weeks later, Woody Hayes' career in the 10-year war came to a sudden, shameful end.
Schleister looks at Notley, throws it short and intercepted. Charlie Foreman, the middle guard, intercepted.
I was watching the game on television, and I saw the punch, and I said, "You've just seen the last game Woody Hayes will ever coach." I was sad, but I understood that that was the only way that Woody could go out. He was like Melville's Ahab, and ended up being taken down, pinioned to his obsession. Football.
This is Michigan, the biggest game I've ever coached, and the one thing I love to do is beat them. Then I looked over, and they had their helmets off, and they had a banner around here. They had something on it, and I was standing back there. I don't allow banner. What the heck are they doing? So I walked over there, and I saw Earl written on. I said, oh, my God.
Earl Bruce had the unenviable task of replacing Woody Hayes. But in his 9 seasons in Columbus, he became the 3rd winningest head coach in Buckeye history and posted a winning record against the Wolverines.
We don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan. We're from Ohio.
But at the tail end of a mediocre season, Bruce was unceremoniously fired prior to the 1987 Michigan game.
And in Earl Bruce's final appearance for Ohio State, his Buckeyes are really playing well.
And you know that old saying, you find a way to win.
Touchdown.
They found a way to win. And it was all with the heart, not with anything else. They did it with the heart.
Bruce's successor was an immediate hit, but not in Columbus.
I love John Cooper. John Cooper was great.
Coach Cooper's a Hall of Fame coach. His stats say that. But again, when you're talking about Ohio State, I don't care what his record is. What's his record against Michigan?
In the course of 13 years, they won 2 games over Michigan. So, poor John.
John Cooper said, Michigan is just another game. He said that.
His 1995 team was one of the best Ohio State teams ever assembled. Featured Eddie George, the Heisman Trophy winner at tailback. The Michigan team had already lost 3 times.
They come into Michigan, and some guy that a lot of people whose name they can't even pronounce.
Tishimanga Biakabatuka runs wild.
Biakabatuka. Biakabatuka. And Biakabatuka finds some space. The elusive Tim Biakabatuka. Tishimanga Biakabatuka.
Biakabatuka made a name for himself by rushing for a rivalry record 313 yards and spoiling one of several Ohio State seasons in the 1990s. Never fully embracing the magnitude of the rivalry, Cooper was replaced in 2001 by someone who clearly did.
How about a great big Buckeye welcome for Jim Tressel?
The day he was announced as Ohio State's head coach, ironically, Ohio State was playing a basketball game that evening against the University of Michigan. He said,
"You'll be proud of our young people."
In the classroom, in the community, and most especially
in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Thank you very much.
Yes, finally, we have a coach that gets it.
When that day came that I got to roll up my sleeves and go to work and see if I could be worthy of coaching at The Ohio State University, I knew one thing for sure. I better be prepared for a game that's unlike any other.
I keep talking Tressel up to every NFL owner I see. I got to get this guy out of Columbus. This guy's got to go away.
Jim Tressel, a coach's son from Mentor, Ohio, delivered in his initial test against Michigan in 2001.
Handoff quarterback, he'll bounce out.
A victory over the Wolverines the following year secured a berth in the national title game versus Miami.
And the Buckeyes are headed to the desert. Under pressure, throws it. Incomplete. The Buckeyes win. Now the party begins for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Tressel's record of success against that team from up north, 5 wins in 6 seasons, evoked memories of Woody Hayes. Long forgiven for his controversial exit, Hayes remains a larger-than-life figure whose spirit endures in Columbus.
If you say Woody, it could only be one person. Still very much endeared to the public ear. And it's a little bit like being in love with a very beautiful woman who has a broken nose.